Okay, welcome to this week's episode of Technology in Your Industry. My name's Aaron Brennan. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Vipar, and my guest this week is Ben Theis, who is the CEO of Skull Marketing up in Minnesota, right? Is that where you
Yep,
are,
that's
Ben?
right.
Nice, nice. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you do and who you work with.
Yeah. So actually, Aaron and I used to work at Google together, and since both of us have done different ventures, I've spun off and started my own company. Again, Skull Marketing is an internet marketing agency here in Minnesota that we help small business owners and nonprofits with their technology and internet, marketing needs. So we do website development, search engine optimization, social media, and work a lot with Google and video conferencing.
Very cool, very cool. So kind of how has that spin-off been for you from working at Google to now owning your own business that's working with small businesses and nonprofits?
Yeah, well, it's been a great transition because we worked with small business owners and nonprofits with Google, but obviously in a different capacity. Now we do a lot more hands-on work with them. We do a lot more from the start to the finish, whereas Google's a lot more education and just kind of getting people going. So it's been a little bit of a transition now. Obviously, again, being in charge of everything, managing other people within the organization, and so yeah, having everything flow up right up to you being the top dog. So obviously, again, a little bit of transition, but loving it so far and going very well.
That's
So
awesome. I'm really happy that things are going well for you. Tell me a
thanks.
little bit about the technology that you use on sort of an everyday basis, and where you sort of see that technology helping you.
Yeah, so again, we use our basic technology with our smartphones and our computers and stuff like that. But some of the a little bit more advanced technology from some other people is more kind of the video conferencing, software. Even though we're based here in Minnesota, we obviously need technology, and we have clients across the country. Again, if that's New York, if that's Texas, Seattle, wherever we have clients, we obviously need to be able to communicate with them. And sometimes the phone just isn't enough. So video conferencing with Google Plus Hangouts and other kind of Skype and other kind of technologies allow us to be able to connect with them and to be able to actually engage with clients, in those capacities.
Yeah, very cool. So you're working with a lot of nonprofits and small businesses. Are you seeing a need there for technology and use of technology to help grow their business and maybe either market it or be more efficient with the way they use technology? Or do you see that
Oh,
they're sort of happy with where they are?
no, 100%. They do. And what's great about it is, we're actually seeing this huge trend of, nonprofits and small business owners, actually realizing it. I think that's one of the biggest things that, as marketers like yourself and myself, kind of struggle with sometimes. If a company doesn't realize they need, technology, if they don't realize they need to grow, it's really hard to help them. The great thing about, the nonprofits and small business owners, I think in today's world, is they realize that they need to, but they sometimes don't know where to go and they just need that helping hand. And that's where, again, we can come in and play, and we can actually start to help them with that and, help them institute and integrate a lot of these technology tools into their day-to-day business.
That's awesome. So what do you see as sort of the biggest jump where like small businesses and nonprofits need sort of the most technology help? Is it a communication thing where they need to upgrade their email or the way they their phone conference systems or their even just their video conference system? Or are you seeing a bigger jump from like a marketing side where they need to be more interactive with technology and a social aspect and social engagement with their either A, their customers, or B, their users and their followers as it comes to a nonprofit?
I think it kind of depends on who we're working with and kind of the different level they're on. What we're seeing kind of right now is that there's a lot of small business owners there that have had kind of the websites that have had some of that technology, but they maybe just need to upgrade it. But I think where a lot of them are really lacking has been kind of the whole email and the communication systems, either with their current colleagues or their clients and customers. And sometimes that obviously is going to deal with the website. But again, even with email and video conferencing, like these tools have really like sometimes obviously email's been around, but like sophisticated video conferencing and phone systems are very new to a lot of the customer clients we're dealing with. Whereas like a website, they know about it, they probably had one. It probably needs to be sophisticated. It's not sophisticated enough, and that's where we come in, either rebuild it or help them, upgrade it. Whereas, like, again, the difference is like, again, we work with them on their email system or their video conferencing system. They've literally had little to bare, the bare bones of it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like a vast, opportunity to show them this great opportunity that technology has to offer them in today's world.
Nice. Very cool. Your background is a lot in marketing and engagement with people as well as mine is. Where do you see sort of technology going from an engagement standpoint with your customers or consumers? Do you see Facebook sort of growing off, or do you see these type of hangouts that have been sort of quickly growing in sort of that space to engage with customers?
Yeah, I really do see, again, like Google Hangouts. We actually just gave a presentation on Tuesday for Google Plus Hangouts. It was very well received, especially for the midsummer here up in the Midwest, getting small business owners to come away from their cabins and actually come and sit down and listen to us.
Yeah.
And so, but no, I think, again, video conferencing, I think it's going to be huge and very critical going forward because we're becoming so virtual. Again, it's becoming so widely accepted that you can work from home, that even though you're a Minnesota-based company and you work with small business owners and you have that personal touch, that doesn't necessarily mean you just work with Minnesotans. Again, we can have clients all across the country and really all across the world because of the technology that gives us. And we can kind of break down these barriers, and I can still kind of do relationship building. I can still get to know you. I can still have meetings with you because of this technology and the layers that the technology allows us to accomplish.
Okay. So when it comes to a small business, do you think there's some sort of apprehension on a lot of small businesses? There is some apprehension out there to embrace technology or change the way you're doing things. Why do you think there is that sort of apprehension or, to take on new technology or a new way to do things within a small to medium to nonprofit size?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to lack of education. Again, they know that it's out there, and I think in the back of their mind, they really do know that it's better. But again, it's the lack of education. So again, if it just as human nature is that if we don't know something or if we're not very well educated in it, we get a little scared of it. And that's just human nature, and that's for everything. And so I think you see that a lot of times with small business owners is that they realize technology is out there, but they're just so misinformed and uneducated about it that, again, that's what kind of breeds this, apprehension there. And so that's what we try to do. We really strive to. We do tons of workshops, we do hangouts, we do webinars to try to break down those barriers and to really help these small business owners and nonprofits be able to be well educated and then make, sound decisions going forward with technology and internet marketing.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great to hear that you're out there educating people and kind of going forward. So you've kind of experienced Lime a little bit, which is our interactive virtual mobile-to-mobile application. Where do you sort of see that use case going forward? The fact that you can reach in with your hands and kind of help solve problems together. Do you see sort of a use case for that in some of the small to medium-sized businesses or organizations you're working with?
No, absolutely. Again, what I say is we talked about kind of breaking down these layers. I really think Lime, it breaks down another layer. Again, where we had, email, then we had kind of, we have phone, we have, video conferencing. Even with Google Plus Hangouts, we have remote desktop, which is, almost a step, almost like a 1.0 to Lime. Now I think, Lime is almost a 2.0 to remote desktop, where instead of me taking over your desktop and quickly doing it, I can actually interact with you now and actually almost be in the room with you, not just seeing what you're doing in the room and then trying to describe or try to tell you what to do. Now I can actually almost, in a sense, almost physically, virtually be in the room with you and be able to interact. So I really, do think I'm really excited about the app to be able to interact more with clients, colleagues, and customers, from that point of view.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. I know we're really excited about it and really excited to hear how people are going to use it moving forward. So I'm glad you think that. We have the same sort of idea behind it, thinking that it's going to grow and build. So where would you want to see the biggest, I know you and I both worked at Google. Where would you want to see the biggest next step growth in technology?
I think the biggest, next step is really kind of, honestly, again, really kind of perfecting what we have here, and really honestly, my thing is streamlining everything. And I know Google's, and a lot of other companies are really trying to do that. And, Google just came out with Google My Business, another kind of trying to update to Google Places, Google Plus kind of system. I think, our really next step is really trying to connect everything that we have right now and, again, streamline everything. And I think that's what a lot of these tools are trying to do. And again, playing nice with each other. And I think that's sometimes the biggest issue that we sometimes run into with technology is obviously playing nice with each other. But I think, again, if we're going to keep going, and progressing in the future, I think that's our next step is a little bit more cohesion than we've had before.
That's awesome. I totally agree. It's the playing nice with each other that seems to be the biggest obstacle. Even for us when we're building a product, it's just like now we got to get all the technology to play nice with our product so we can get it useful to everybody's hands. So awesome, very cool. So I ask everybody the same question before I go, because I've been in technology for 10 years. You've been in technology for many years now. And I know what mine is, and I always say that my favorite technology was when I got my first iPhone, and everything condensed down from, having a smartphone, which was an Android phone, plus my iPod that was in my back pocket. I had my wallet in my other pocket, my keys in my other. I had something in every pocket, and all of a sudden the iPhone shrunk that all down into one spot where I had everything all together. I could access the internet and do everything. It was my favorite technology. It was switching to my iPhone. What is your favorite technology ever?
So, I would say, my favorite one, obviously has to be a smartphone because we run out of everything out of it. But I think where my eyes were open, the first time where I was just like, whoa, technology is going great, is I actually didn't get an iPod. I had a Dell Pocket DJ, which was Dell's version of an iPod. And I loved, when I was a kid, being able to take all my CDs instead of having the whole book or whatever and have the whole big book in your backpack, have all those in the palm of my hand. And that was where I really, my eyes were open, wow, technology's great. So that was my first experience, whoa. And then, but obviously, again, my favorite would be my smartphone now.
Ben, I think you're the only person I've ever met that's had one of the Dell music players.
I know. So.
Well, that's awesome. One last question: do you miss working at Google?
I miss it, but it was a good experience. But I'm glad where I am now, and again, no regrets, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. So.
That's awesome. Really happy to hear that for you, man. And if people want to find you or look up more information or use you to be educated, about technology and where technology is going for small and medium-sized businesses, how do they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find us on the web at skolmarketing.com, and you can see the spelling down here at the screen, but it's SKOLmarketing.com. Otherwise, you can find me on LinkedIn, Google+. You can find Skol Marketing on all the other social media platforms as well. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. If you want to do a Google+ Hangout, we a lot of times will just jump on a Hangout with clients or customers that just have simple questions. Shoot me an email. I'm more than happy. I love educating people, love helping people, love networking. So feel free to reach out, and would love to network more with people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. If
Thanks,
you want
Aaron.
to find out more information about Vipar or Lime, our new beta mobile-to-mobile product that's in beta, please visit us at www.limeapp.me. That's www.limeapp.me. You can also follow us on all our social media, Google+, Twitter, Facebook, and even LinkedIn. Thanks for watching, everybody.